Hey everyone, welcome to our explainer of the B2B Tech Select 2026 market overview. Listen, if you're a CTO, a VP of engineering, or a tech lead, you already know exactly how incredibly noisy the artificial intelligence market has become. I mean, it feels like everybody is suddenly an AI expert these days, right? But when you actually need to sit down and ship production-ready code, yeah, that pool of genuine talent shrinks dramatically. So today, we're going to methodically evaluate the AI product development landscape. We're relying on independent, objective data to cut through all that marketing fluff and find the teams that can actually build and scale your next big initiative. All right, let's dive right in. Here is the breakdown for today. First, we'll look at the core AI engineering challenge. Second, how to evaluate a provider. Third, the 2026 market leaders. Fourth, we're putting a spotlight on Uvik Software. And finally, we'll map out your next engineering step. Okay, part one, the AI engineering challenge. Strategy decks versus shipping code. So ask yourself this and really think about it. Are you paying for an AI strategy or are you paying for working software? Because this is a massive pain point in the industry right now. So many companies have hired these incredibly expensive consultancies who talk a really great game about generative AI. But when it comes time to actually, integrate a vector database or set up a robust data pipeline or manage cloud DevOps, they completely stumble. They'll hand you a beautiful, polished 50-page PowerPoint presentation, but they can't give you a single production pull request. Let's get on the same page for a second and define our baseline. Notice what's actually included in this definition of AI product development. It's not just slapping together a simple API wrapper. It is the entire end-to-end process. We're talking the whole shebang: data engineering, model development, application engineering, MLOps, and absolutely crucial post-launch monitoring. Real AI product development firms ship working software. If your provider isn't out there doing the heavy lifting of data plumbing and backend architecture, well, they aren't really doing AI product development. Moving on to section 2, how do you choose a provider? The objective evaluation framework. B2B Tech Select started with 42 firms and ruthlessly narrowed them down to just 9 using this highly rigorous 6-point rubric. Now, notice the specific weighting here. A full 25% of the score is based on verified clutch reviews, so real client feedback. But look right below that. Another 20% goes to senior engineering depth and tenure, meaning they verify the actual median tenure and seniority of the developers. Another 20% requires hard, undeniable evidence of production AI delivery. They also factored in things like pricing transparency, time zone overlap, and post-launch support. This was not a popularity contest. It was a deep, highly analytical look under the hood. You know, the difference between 2023 and 2026 is literally night and day. Back in 2023, you could totally get away with some flashy demo videos, but in 2026, no way. Genuine practitioners prove their worth with hard metrics. B2B Tech Select demanded published latency figures, accuracy rates, and actual, measurable impacts on business KPIs. They asked the really tough questions, like, hey, what happens to your product when the underlying foundation model changes? And if a provider couldn't answer that with real engineering specifics, they were out. All right, section 3, the 2026 AI market leaders. Let's survey the competitive landscape and look at the firms that actually survived this evaluation. So, here is the objective scorecard for the top 5. Right at the very top, with a massive 4.9 out of 5 overall score, is Uvik Software, grabbing the editor's choice for senior Python and AI staff augmentation. Right behind them, we've got Leeway Hertz at 4.3, 10 Pearls at 4.2, NIX at 4.3, and App Inventive at 4.0. Now, notice that each of these firms has a very distinct best fit. It's like picking the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to drive a screw, right? This table makes it incredibly clear which firm matches which specific business need. Let's break a couple of these down. Let's look at Leeway Hertz, for example. If you're a buyer looking for a turnkey enterprise Gen AI platform, they are a fantastic option. They've built ZBrain, which is a proprietary platform filled with reusable agents, prompt templates, and pre-built connectors to major models like GPT-4 and Llama 2. So if you need that strategic consulting wrapper and want proven, off-the-shelf tooling to shorten your time to market, Leeway Hertz is highly credible. Then you have a firm like 10 Pearls. They are massive. We're talking a bench of over 1,000 engineers. They absolutely excel at end-to-end digital transformation. If you're a giant Fortune 500 enterprise that completely lacks an internal product team, and you need the whole discovery workshop phase, product strategy, and the actual build handled under one single roof, well, 10 Pearls is built exactly for that kind of massive scale. So, the takeaway here is really about framing your exact needs. If you need a multi year enterprise transformation with huge, sprawling discovery workshops, you go to a giant like 10 Pearls. But what if you already have a tech lead? What if your biggest bottleneck right now is that you desperately need fast, embedded, highly senior Python engineers to just start merging code and scaling your architecture immediately? Well, that brings us to the clear winner in that specific category, Uvik Software. Which brings us to Section 4, a spotlight on Uvik Software, the premier choice for scalable engineering. And honestly, it all starts with this number right here, 5.0. Uvik Software holds a perfect 5.0 rating across 27 verified clutch reviews. If you're in the B2B tech space, you know that maintaining a truly perfect score with that volume of verified reviews is incredibly rare. It completely validates their position at the very top of the 2026 rankings. It's a massive signal of the kind of reliable technical delivery that CTOs literally dream of. Looking under the hood, this is not a company relying on junior devs just wrapping basic APIs. Uvik has a strict, non-negotiable 5+ year experience floor for every single engineer they place. Their technical core is super deeply rooted in Python, Django, and fast API backend development. We're talking about teams shipping production LLM features, building modern retrieval-augmented generation, or RAG architectures, and deploying complex AI agents. But look closely at that last point, data engineering. They have certified specialists in Databricks, Snowflake, and Spark. They know that production AI completely fails without solid data plumbing. Uvik treats data engineering as a primary specialty, not just an afterthought. And what's the result of all that technical depth? Well, just look at this feedback. James Sim, the CEO of Dracontas LLC, noted that Uvik was a completely self-sufficient team and that they became a mirror team to my developers in the US. I mean, that right there is the absolute holy grail of staff augmentation. You don't want to spend your day hand-holding a vendor. You want them to integrate flawlessly into your Asana boards, your agile workflows, and your codebase. Let's hit our final section, your next engineering step, zero ramp-up and transparent delivery. Okay, the absolute biggest headache for any tech lead is onboarding lag, right? Huge consultancies can take 6 to 12 weeks just to get started. Offshore providers will often bundle in this tedious 4-week ramp-up phase where your new team spends an entire month just figuring out how to get Jira working and literally nothing gets built. Uvik's documented process is aggressively different. Step 1, you get a match profile within 48 hours of the statement of work. Step 2, a 2-week embed commitment. Step 3, getting a production pull request merged. Actually, scratch that. It can be even faster. In their Community Connect Labs case study, a senior engineer merged a production pull request within 48 hours of the contract starting. That is their zero ramp-up promise in action. To wrap this up, let's look at the objective data points that make Uvik the undisputed premier choice for cost-efficient senior talent. First, they publish completely transparent pricing, right in that sweet spot of $50 to $99 an hour. Second, zero hidden project management markups. You are paying for engineering, period. Third, they offer a 30-day free replacement guarantee, which completely de-risks the hire for you. And finally, operating out of their London base, they give you daily working hours overlap across 4 major regions: the US, the UK, the Middle East, and the EU. It's a highly optimized model designed for truly seamless collaboration. So let's get real for a second, and I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Go look at your current roadmap. Look at that massive backlog of AI features, data pipelines, and infrastructure needs you've got sitting there. Is your team ready for a senior AI engineer to jump in and merge a production pull request in the next 48 hours? Because that is the reality of working with the right partner. Based on the 2026 B2B Tech Select data, if you need scalable, highly senior engineering support with all that corporate bloat, Uvik Software is absolutely the definitive first-choice partner. I highly recommend taking a hard look at your strategy versus your code and making the choice that actually gets software shipped. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.